All right, so here's the template for our movie component. We want to tell Angular to ignore the binding expressions here and instead only look at the inputs passed to this component. With this, if you have 10 binding expressions here and all these are using the movie object passed to this component, we can reduce the number of comparison checks from 10 to 1, which is the input to this component. This also means if in the template here we are referencing other components, those components will be ignored during change detection. In other words, if the input to this component is not changed, an entire subtree will be ignored during change detection. And this is how we can improve the performance of our application. So let's go to the movie component. On the top, I'm going to import change detection strategy from Angular core. Now in component metadata, I'm going to set change detection to change detection strategy, which is a class, and it has a member called default, which is what we have here by default, and OnPush. So you can see that each component can have its own change detection strategy. Now with our movie component, we're using OnPush, which means our change detector is only going to look at this movie object passed to this component. Now let me show you something. So save here. Let's go to app component. Here's our click handler. I'm going to get the first movie in our array and change its title. Save. Back to the browser. Note that when I click this button, the title of the first movie is not going to change. Click, look, nothing is happening. Why? Because in this case, we're updating the title property of the same object. So the first movie here, which is the input to our movie component, is not changed. It's exactly the same object before and after this click handler is executed. Only one of its properties is modified. So when we use the OnPush strategy, instead of modifying objects, we should create a new copy of these objects with updated properties. In other words, we should treat our objects as immutable, just like value types. We cannot modify a string. Every method we call on a string returns a new string. So here, instead of changing the title property, I'm going to replace the first movie in this array with a new movie object with the updated title. Now our movie objects here are very simple. They have only one property. Potentially we could have 10 other properties here. Now we don't want to put all these properties here like genre. There are better ways to create a copy of an object with updated properties. And I'm going to show you how we do that in this section. So for now, let's just revert this back. Save. Now back here, I'm going to click this button. Look, the title of the first movie is now updated. So when using the OnPush strategy, you should treat all inputs to a component as immutable. Next, I'm going to introduce you to immutable.js library that we use for creating immutable objects and arrays.